queen.com, the network for melanated people like you. Today we're speaking with Mr. David Robinson, the father of missing black man, a young black man who's very, very talented, a geologist. His name is Daniel Robinson, and we're here to get the word out about this. Mr. David Robinson, who has graced us with his time today, is going to tell us about the investigation in search for Daniel and the response he's been getting from mainstream media, also from law enforcement. And then also we're going to talk about things that he's learned through his experience, and, things that could really forward other Black folks who unfortunately could be in similar situations looking for their missing loved ones. Mr. Robinson, welcome into the Lioness Den. We thank you for being here with us. Let us know how you're doing today, and if you want to introduce yourself to the subscribers and viewers of Fly Nubian Queen, you can definitely do so.
Well, thank you for having me on. Yes, my name is David Robinson, of course. I'm from South Carolina. My family, Daniel. I am retired military, and my goal right now is to find my son. So I've been out here since June the 26th in search of my son, Daniel, who went missing on June the 23rd. And I'm going to continue that fight. That's what's going on right now. I'll continue that fight. I'm out here trying to get it done.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And we want to welcome everyone who's tuned in. Make sure you all hit the like button and share this broadcast. It's very important information. You all may have seen Mr. Robinson here, Daniel's dad. You may have seen him on CNN lately. You may have seen him on Dateline. We're still looking for Daniel. As he said, it's been 3 months. So the first thing we like to do here for today's segment, Mr. Robinson, is could you tell us about your son? Who is Daniel? And what kinds of things was he up to? What type of person is he?
Well, Daniel, he's the youngest of his siblings. He has twin sisters and an older brother. Daniel, ever since he was young, he's always the one. I guess every typical young one would try to challenge the older. And but Daniel been born without a hand, and a lot of people thought that would be a disadvantage for him. Daniel he showed us that at the beginning. This is not for me, So I'm going to be Daniel. I don't need prosthesis. Much as we tried to help him with that, he decided he didn't want that in life. He just wanted to be Daniel. Daniel accomplishments like he taught himself the French horn. He wanted to play that. He accomplished it. He wanted to play the trombone. He mastered that. He did a little bit of sports. So he never let anything stop him when it comes to challenges that some people may think it be. Academic wise, it's the same way. He's challenged his siblings, but they challenge each other, and all of them doing very well. When he got to college, he decided geology as a major once he was in the freshman, his first year there at College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina. He loved the idea, what he learned about geology. He's fascinated, and from then on, that's what he pursued. He graduated with honors. And the thing with Daniel, he's a very outspoken guy. He's loved by all his friends, all his family. He loved to travel. I mean, Daniel was just one of those guys that he just want to do it all, So, and personality wise, he tends to bring people together. Like a lot of times we have any kind of conflict around Daniel, he's always there in the middle. He'll bring people together. So that's Daniel. They're doing it right now, bringing us all together. Even if he's not here right now with us, but when I see him again, you'll understand what I'm saying. Daniel's a great contributor to society, and he has hopes and dreams, and he's going after his dreams. He's a man that want to travel. He want to do things, and he started off young in life and making that happen.
Absolutely. And can you tell us how he got involved or interested in geology? I love the earth sciences, but just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, he's from what I understand, he in his freshman year down there in College of Charleston, yeah, he decided to make that his major. I think it was an elective class, but his interest, it piqued his interest really quickly. He started doing more research on it. That's all he talked about, while he was in school. He talked about it and his goals once he get his degree. He also talked about opening his own firm and just doing all kind of things like that. So, of course, I'm as a father, we help him along. Just try to encourage him and give him all the help that he needed. Learn all the tools, get some things from Dr. Watkins. So it's a lot of things that we as a son we work together and just learn some things together and that's Daniel.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. So if you're just tuning into the Lioness Den, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're here normally weekdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're speaking to Mr. David Robinson II about his son, Daniel Robinson, who has gone missing. He has been missing for 3 months, over 3 months now. He went missing in Arizona. As you can see, he is a wonderful young man. And Mr. David Robinson actually relocated and has been in Arizona looking for Daniel. So earlier you mentioned, Mr. Robinson, that there was a specific timeline between the last time you all had heard from Daniel up until now. Can you fill us in on some of those details, please?
Yes. On June 23rd, I do have a daughter also that lives in Phoenix. Daniel's job came to her house, I think roughly 4 or 5 that afternoon, letting her know that they were looking for him. He didn't return back to the work site. They just tried to inquire where he was at. I think they went to his apartment and then came to my daughter. Of course, she alerted me. I'm down in Columbia, South Carolina. She alerted me that this is going on. I wasn't, stunned or anything yet. I was like concerned, like what happened, why he, would leave his job. But of course, the first thing action was to make a phone call to him. Try to find out what's going on. Of course, we couldn't get in contact with him. His sister and I alerted his mother. Tried to make phone calls, but after about 6 hours, I realized it was actually 6 hours from 9 o'clock till the time that they alerted my daughter. It was over a 6 hour period, and I know Daniel. He always contacts his family, no matter what. I mean, like I said before, his personality. He loved to travel. Don't get me wrong. He loved to travel. He liked to do things like to hike, that type stuff. But he always tells us where he's going. He either on the road to go somewhere, and he said, "Hey, look, this is where I'm going." And not hearing from him, we knew something was wrong at the beginning. Of course, that's when I had to decide to call the police department up here. He lives in Tempe, Arizona, but they told me I needed to call Buckeye because that was the place where he was last seen.
Thank you. And about how many days in between from the last time like y'all heard from him that you actually made contact with Buckeye?
Well, that was on day one when I talked about first initiated contact with them. They first told me I had to wait 12 hours before I can put a missing person, which I think at the time when I called them was like 3 hours short of that time. So I literally had to hang up and sit there pacing for 3 hours and I'll call them back. Once I did that, the Buckeye Police Department seemed helpful. They went to contact his job. I didn't know anything about how the desert area was and anything about his work site at the time, but they did tell me they was going to ride up and down the road there. Hindsight now, I know just riding down the road wasn't actually going in the desert. It's actually just riding on the main road to see if he's, they could spot him and anything like that. So I was grateful for that part. I just wanted them to get out there in the desert and search for him. Of course, that was denied because it was night, and they wanted to wait till the next morning. However, the next morning, of course, I'm not going to sleep. That's one thing about it. I'm not going to sleep. I'm on the phone all night, just making sure they do what they need to do. The next morning, they say, hey, we're gonna get a flight out there, get a helicopter out there to search for his son. I'm grateful. I was happy. However, they called me an hour later, say, hey, that flight's been denied, been unauthorized, and that's the reason why. It's because he's a grown man, and the higher ups feel like if he want to leave, he can leave, and that was unacceptable to me. From lack of putting so much out, that was unacceptable to me. It angered me, so I decided to grab everything I had. Think really fast. I'm going to need a vehicle. I don't know how long I was going to be here in Phoenix. And I threw everything I can in my vehicle, and I started heading this way.
Thank you. And then what happened next?
Well, once I got mainly inside, excuse me, inside of the Phoenix area, I did get a call from my auntie. She lives in Philly. She got in contact with Buckeye Police Department, and she somehow, I don't know what she said to them. She told me, hey, they taking this Firebird from the Phoenix area police department, and they're going out there to search for Daniel. I was grateful, but I just drove in. By the time that happened on that third day, I was just hitting Phoenix. Once I got here, my main thing was to contact the Buckeye Police Department, see what they're doing, what they found on that search. They came back empty. Went out to the area where my son was last seen, which was Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road. There's a gate that leads down into the desert area. It goes a mile or so. His work site goes a mile or so in to the east, and then to the west, and then you have to go up another 2 miles north just to get to this well site out there. Of course, I couldn't get out there. I'm sitting at the gate, just trying to find out what happened to my son. From that point, I decided to, first of all, that same day, talk to this guy who said that my son drove off in the desert. Of course, as a father, I had to look this man in the eye. You're just not going to tell me or tell the officers that my son just simply drove off into the desert. You had to look me in my eye and tell me that. So I made arrangements with the company that my son worked with to get in contact with that gentleman's company to meet him out there at the well site area, which ended up happening. So I've been out there and found out some information from him about my son, what he's from his standpoint, because you got to understand it was just him and my son out there. So this whole thing that we know right now to this day about what happened that day is based on one man's story, one man's testimony, if you will.
Yeah, and then I know you made some discoveries on your own while you were out there.
Yes. Again, just sitting out there every other day, just sitting out there with my binoculars, looking out there in the desert. I felt like that's the only thing that's keeping me from getting to my son. It was between me and my son was that desert out there. So I decided to find a way to get out there. And the only way I could is organize my own search party. I was advised not to go out there because it was dangerous. So I just email, text, do whatever I had to do. I didn't know anyone here. So I was able to find people who know a lot about that terrain. I'm a Afghanistan veteran. Of course, I've been in the desert. I've been 2 tours in Afghanistan, but this terrain out here is a lot different. It has a lot of vegetation, but it's a lot different. And not knowing, have the unknowns, I had to make sure I put the proper protocols in place, and I was able to do that. Start my own searches, and that gave me the opportunity to be out there. We did 7 successful searches so far. We have one coming up this weekend, and what we discovered is a lot. We uncovered remains, other people's remains, human remains. We covered a skull. Despite what you hear out there in media, all of those items were discovered by my search teams. We put in hard work. We had volunteers decide to bring their cadaver dolls. We actually had fixed-wing airplanes, even drones. So all that was outside of the Buckeye Police Department. So we continue that search right now. With my son's vehicle, as you see on the screens came into the picture. We started off this searching around the well site when my son was last seen, but when the vehicle showed up, then we expanded our search, and that's where we're searching now, those areas and beyond.
So you organized a search team to search for Daniel, your beloved son, right? Flesh
That's
of
right.
your flesh, blood of your blood. And then near his vehicle, you found human remains. Other folk?
Yes, well, it's in the same general area.
Same general area.
Right, in the same general area. If you was to put it in a city term, it'd be more like a block or a block and a half from where my son's vehicle was found. Those areas would have those remains.
Well, so it seems like that to me, as a journalist, someone who's been reading about this, it sounds like multiple people have gone missing, or have been buried, in that area. And so, since your search team found those human remains, are you hopeful? I mean, I'm sure you're hopeful that maybe that they could close some cases of other missing persons whose remains have been found. Any word on that, or information on that?
The sad part is the Buckeye Police Department is very unhelpful when it comes to things like that. We do our part. We're fortunate, like I said, unfortunate and fortunate to find those human remains. And like you said, to me, I felt like even though it's very hurtful to see that, and also my son remains missing, we turned those things over to the Buckeye Police Department. And you would think that being that it's my search team, when I ask for information, they'd be kind of helpful with that. And the reason why I say that, because I do get an influx of calls from families. All the way out from Florida, calling me about those human remains. Inquiring if it was, like, for instance, one lady in Florida inquiring if it's her brother. I can't tell her those things, but I try to get information from the Buckeye Police Department. Her brother went missing. People that call me, they have family members that went missing in the same area out there in Buckeye, and still looking for them to this day. It's been years, and these remains, especially the skull, seem to be kind of aged, for a few years, sitting out there. So that area is now hindsight knowing it's high in the cartels, high area of I guess they call them. For lack of words, the guys that come and bring in the drugs, and you got the white supremacists out there. There's different elements out there, so that's why it's not wise to be out there in that desert alone. That's one of the reasons when I was advised, not to go out there alone. Of course, as a father, you want to be hard headed, and I was gonna take my vehicle out there and find my son. But I've been fortunate, like I said, to not know anyone, and be able to put search together. So we stand at this point doing that. And as you asked about the faith, I have my faith. Despite everything that's going on and what I see, I still want to believe that my son is somewhere, and I'm going to find him.
Absolutely, Mr. Robinson. If you're just tuning in, welcome into the Lioness Den. We are reporting on a story about Daniel Robinson, who is 24 years old and was last seen in the Arizona desert. We have his father, Mr. David Robinson II, who is on with us. He is a retired military serviceman, and he is in Arizona, and he is looking for Daniel and has made other discoveries. And folks have been definitely reaching out. He has organized a search team. They have made, they found Daniel's car. The local police department out there did not. There seems to be a lot of discrepancies there, but either way, Mr. David Robinson is hell bent on finding Daniel, and we want you all to also spread the word. We want you all to also support Mr. Robinson and the search team that he's organized in their work. There is a GoFundMe that that you can support, and also a website. That website is pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. If you tune into this program, if you're a regular here in the Lioness Den with us on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, I am asking that you take some time and resources to definitely support this cause. There are far too many Black people, Black children, Black men, Black women who go missing. We know what the dominant society tends to do. We know how the lives of, and I'm speaking for me, these are my opinions, the lives of white women and children, and even white men who go missing, are treated and handled with a lot of compassion. They get a lot of support from the public. We are responsible for our own. And so, as you all know, the Lioness Den is a very codified space where we act on one accord, and we are Black first here. And so I'm asking and appealing to the family who tunes into FlyNubianQueen.com to help us find Daniel Robinson. Share this broadcast, share information about Daniel and this search on your social media, but more importantly, please go over and support the GoFundMe, and you can access that and more information and updates about the search for Daniel Robinson at pleasefinddaniel.com. Pleasefinddaniel.com. Now I have another question for you, Mr. Robinson, and my question is, you said that other people who also have missing relatives who have gone missing in Arizona have reached out to you. Are these Black folks who are reaching out looking for loved ones who have gone missing in that area, or is it like a ethnically or racially diverse group of people that you've heard from so far, these missing person cases in that area?
Well, first I want to tell you, I want to correct one thing really quickly. We didn't. My search team didn't find my son's vehicle. That was found by a rancher who owned the land out there. He so happened to run into that vehicle on his chasing his cattle down. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. As in the people that reached out to me, they're predominantly Black, of course. I do have one young lady who's missing a family member out there. He's a white gentleman. I think the story for that, of course, was something dealing with the police also. But these the other families, yeah, it's been some suspicious nature. Been children, from children to adults, family members. Like I've mentioned, the brother. Also it was a cop and Bob situation, and and it saddens me. It saddens me just learning just since I've been here. I tell people all the time, like myself, I'm on my back porch, enjoying my life, and talk to my children, on free will, and the next day I'm in Arizona searching for one of my sons. And you get thrown into a situation where you have to be involved, and you learn about other people's stories and experiences, and also and then you get a passion to do something about it. That's the reason why I started also my petition. You'll find that also on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, and ask people to sign that petition. The petition is also to put pressure, of course, on the Buckeye Police Department to get them to do what they should do for my son. However, at the same time, I'm trying to bring awareness and change to the way they approach Black folks, and more so when it comes to people. When you put in a missing persons report, there should be a 24 to 48 hours, well, 24-hour urgency done. Saying within that 24 hours, because I learned quickly that's what caused me to be here for 3 months. If you don't have that urgency, you have a worse outcome of even finding that person.
Absolutely, yes, and thank you for the correction. You did say that a rancher found the vehicle, and that your search and rescue team made other discoveries within the perimeter around that area, probably about a block or so away around where that vehicle was found. So thank you for that. Right. I apologize for that that inconsistency. Can I ask? Let me do this. What has the level or response of law enforcement been in the search? Have different police organizations or agencies gotten involved? Have federal agencies gotten involved, like search and rescue missions or any investigations? Have they reached out to you to aid you and your team in the search for Daniel?
Not at all. From day one, I think just hindsight, looking at everything, the Buckeye Police Department did minimal. They did whatever they could so that someone come look and they could say, "Hey, I did this." Like we all could see in the national spotlight how things went down in I believe it's Florida and Wyoming when they was in the search for the man who took his backpack off and left his family and took off. You see the urgency. You see the FBI quickly step in. You see all these agencies coming together. That wasn't the case of my experience. My experience was things like, hey, we can't get a warrant because it's not a possible criminal case. We need to get phone records, and they would tell you they have phone records. The way they achieve getting phone records is actually strolling down our cell phones. My daughter and I, just looking at my son's call logs. Just doing things like that. The minimum, bare minimum, I think, to kind of just wash it away, and you just probably walk away. But no agencies ever came out. To speak to me. There were no FBI's involved, despite of the death threats, despite of anything that I reported things to FBI. They do not come out. They not being a part, especially with my searches. Like I said, I hustled and I was able to put a search together, search team, and it started off with only 20 some people. Now I'm up to roughly 200 plus folks, and this weekend I'm up to some thousands of folks. So, being able to make those accomplishments without the aid of the law enforcement, I think that's incredible.
So law enforcement has not supported you even after you have received death threats. Could you say a bit more about that? That's just so shocking to me. I mean, you're looking for your son. Why would anyone want to do that? Yeah, like people in the chat are like, death threats. What?
Yeah, well, you don't hear that now. This is something that you haven't hearing here for the first time, because I don't really put it out there like that. Well, just out there. Since I've been doing my searches, I've been counseled by people who's familiar with that area. I'm just familiar with Arizona altogether. I've also always been saying, hey, look, Mr. Robinson, you need to keep a weapon on you. You need to keep your weapons on you. Everybody there. They come out to searches almost like the Wild Wild West. Everybody's armed. I didn't have a need at the time to think that way until I started receiving those threats. I was getting things from, hey, we got your son. We broke his legs. I had to hear things like that. It started that way. When I finally got my private investigator, of course, he chased those things down. People was calling from burner phones, using these burner phones. And it started with, then came the emails. I received emails. Hey, you don't do this. We are watching you. There's going to be some bloodshed, things like that. So, of course, first thing I did was report it to the FBI. The FBI said they were going to take a report. I need to go refer back to the Buckeye Police Department, and they need to send a referral back to them so they can come on in. I went to the detectives and told them what was going on. Gave them the text messages, the phone numbers, where they're coming from, the email, and didn't hear anything else about it. So it's that type thing that goes on behind the scene. I got that on top of trying to stay focused on my son and stay focused on my mission, what I'm trying to do. And it's a lot of things going on like that that people they're not aware of.
Thank you. And we don't have to get, the FBI definitely needs to do their job. Let's be clear. They want to go find somebody, or if they want to get somebody, they know how to definitely do that. So they need to step up and do their job.
Oh yes, I do.
Is there anything so far that could indicate that Daniel being missing could potentially be racially motivated or have anything to do with race? Is there any evidence that could point us in that direction, and or just want your general sentiments on that as his father?
As a father, I'm always going to be suspicious about everything. The biggest point is I have, since I've been out here, I've got engrossed a lot with the Black community. I got together with a lot of people here. The Black community here is very small, and it's spread out. So I was able to connect with people to bring that community to me. And one of the things I've been advised is the racially motivated things that go on, especially with the investigation of the Phoenix Police Department. They was messing with a lot of people with the Black Lives Matters movements. And my son was out here, and I remember the day he called me as part of the Black Lives Movement protest, and he had this sign. He did interviews with the newscast. And what it is, the community out here is very concerned about that, because the Phoenix Police Department, for instance, got caught retaliating, was caught charging Black Lives Matter folks as gang members, and giving them criminal records and things like that. So that's why the Justice Department had to come in. So the departments around here in this area, which is also include Buckeye, are under suspicions like that. We had the sundown town still around here. So that's one of the concerns that is out there when it comes to my son.
Thank you so much. And so you said that Daniel was a supporter of Black Lives Matter, and that the law enforcement were doing things, targeting them potentially. Wow. I'm just taken aback, and that they actually still have sundown towns in that particular area of Arizona. And I know earlier I heard you reference that, folks have warned that there are definitely white supremacists in the area. And so it's safe to say that this, Daniel being missing, being a missing person at this point, could definitely be attributed to race. Right, in this area. I've heard things about Arizona, in general, that, I don't want to get into today. If you're just tuning in and tapping in, we are in the Lioness Den. I'm your sister, Lioness Crowned, and we are here with Mr. David Robinson II, who is the proud father of 24-year-old geologist from South Carolina, Daniel Robinson. And we are looking for Daniel, and Mr. Robinson here is talking to us about his experience looking for his son. If you have any information about Daniel Robinson, if you've seen him, if you know anything, please go to the website and reach out, help us find Daniel, and also go support the GoFundMe. And you can do so at pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. That's pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. I would like to just acknowledge your strength, your tenacity, your grit. You are unrelenting in searching for Daniel, as you should be. You've even organized your own search and rescue team. Can you talk to the subscribers, supporters here on FlyNubianQueen.com about your process with organizing a search and rescue team? Because many of our people, we find ourselves in similar situations, even in the inner city, suburbs, rural areas where Black folks go missing, especially Black children. How did you form a search and rescue team, and what are the different roles of folks who do this in case someone needs to replicate your model?
Well, the first thing I did when I got here, of course, I didn't know how to put things together when it comes to organizing. So I had to rely on emailing, researching, emailing, find people in the area who, with like our former law enforcement, for instance, who had some military background. Those are the first key things I was looking for, only because of my situation is unique when it comes to the desert out there. Having been the former military, I knew that I had to have someone who know about that terrain. So I reached out to organizations that I've seen that deal with that terrain a lot. Like they go out to um, pretty much same like my son, geologist or hiking group or things like that. So I search around different groups and things like that, and kind of put out what I'm trying to do, see if anybody interested in helping. Once I got feedback on some of those things, I was able to find one gentleman who's an expert at dealing with this terrain out here. Matter of fact, he lives in Buckeye, and from that point, I was able to find some of his contacts and put some people together to help us with the technical parts, building a website, the mapping, things like that. So it kind of built from that point.
Awesome. Thank you. And has the mayor of the area supported with sending folks over from the city or help you galvanize volunteers to search for Daniel?
No, none of the city officials. Matter of fact, I had my family press conference that I set up the other day in front of the Buckeye Police Department. I don't know if I was smiling about this because it's weird to me. I don't know if they actually closed the whole department down because they heard I was coming, or they actually was closed. But we stand in front of their building. Of course, the building was empty. We'll call out the mayor. I can't get anything from them. We call out the some city council members, and we're still working on that kind of thing. That's what the petition is for. Also, we're gonna work on those type things. Try to get their attention, to everything that's going on right now. So I don't get any kind of support from anyone. That's what I'm saying. Anyone is outside of the civilian life. Anybody in civilian, yes, I'm getting support. But the city officials, law enforcement, none of that. No, I don't get any support at all.
Very on my part, that's very suspicious. Let me just say that is very suspicious. Especially with the media traction that you're given, it's been over 3 months since you've last seen or heard from Daniel, and we are prayerful that Daniel is well and will be found and return home. And given the fact that you have been on these mainstream news media outlets and that you are still being met with silence by local officials, the FBI, and law enforcement in the search for your son. That is absolutely unacceptable. That is not what we pay tax dollars for. And it makes me very, very suspicious. It makes me very, very suspicious. And also, Arizona has a governor, right? Yes. This area, they have a city council, they have commissioners, they have county commissioners, right? On the Republican side and on the Democratic side, they have a mayor. What is the Black population of that particular area in Arizona? Do you know the demographic data?
Well, only thing I know in Arizona itself, I think the Black population is around 5%. And it's very small, but they're very scattered. Also, the Black population is very scattered. So, I think one of the biggest problems I learned since I've been here, just talking to the West Valley NAACP, some new Black Panther Party members, Black Lives Matter groups here, the Mothers Forum, and just getting together is that just the thing of that cohesiveness here. Black people try to stick together here, but at the same time, like I said, they spread off. And people like myself coming into Arizona, I see trying to implement changes like that to bring Black people together and work together and network together because, like you said earlier, we have each other. And but yeah, it's kind of hard to get it together at first. When I got here, I didn't see, and I have to be honest, when I first started these searches, all my support was white. I only had one Black woman who so happened to came to one of my searches. She happened to be from my hometown, and that's all I seen. And I had to fight. I really had to fight really hard to find the Black community. I did feel a certain way at one point. Actually, I was feeling a little down because I needed some representation from my own on my own. I love the support I have from anyone, and trying to find my son. That's my main goal. But I was able to, rally the black, finally meet someone and rally the black population and the organizations that's out here to work with me. And now I see an outpouring of the black community. They're there helping me with support. I'm also organizing now to have a more a search in the city areas. Have people go around in the homeless population, passing out flyers, asking questions. So I'm coordinating that kind of effort also right now currently.
Thank you. And we're seeing we see a lot of overwhelming amount of support from folks who are in the chat. Deanna D says every Arizona senator and congressperson should be concerned about Daniel and this pattern of missing persons in that area that don't get media attention. What do you think about this particular comment? I mean, clearly I know that you agree, Mr. Robinson, but I am quite shocked that this is not as big of a trending story in the media as, what's her name, Pepito. It was a white woman who
Yes,
went
Debbie, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised too. I said this before. When I listen to other black folks, our people that call me and email me their story, it's even Miss Day, with her son. It's always sound familiar. We have to go through hurdles, make a bunch of noise, or just have to go through a whole lot just to be heard. Here I am here for 3 months, reaching out to the local media, passing out flyers. In the meantime, while I'm still out there searching, trying to keep a search team going, I'm just doing a lot, and it still was going unheard. It took that case, from what I'm understanding. My reality is a little different. I think I was out there, my children helping me put things out there on social media. Whatever we had to do to try to get the word out. And then lo and behold, you hear people on Twitter say, hey, look, is this case, this woman missing, this white woman missing. Of course, anybody, I'm not heartless. Of course, when I first heard about it, I didn't know the details of it. I just heard, hey, some young girl, I think around your son's age, missing. My first thought was, hey, somebody's family suffering just like me. It only came to my attention that the details of that was later when they say, no, Dave, you got to look at this. She's national, is running 24 hours a day, all day. And I started thinking, I'm like, wait a minute now. How did that happen? I think she was missing a lot shorter time. My son was going on 3 months being missing, and it's been only a few days. And she had the FBI, and they had this going on. And, I'm like, okay, where's my help? Where's my help for my son? I can't even get the police department that's responsible to do more. They only did 3 searches at that point, Yeah, of course I'm going to feel a certain way. I'm not taking away from somebody's pain because I know how that family feel. But it's a problem that just keep going on and on. I see it with these other families. That's why I say I refuse to make this all about my son. It's about black people in general, people of color. If you came to my press conference, you'll see that I had to highlight the differences. It's just that we're treated a lot different when it comes to. I think some people may think that we don't have the same heart, we don't love our children the same way, and then a lot of times, I hear people try to associate our children with, something like illegal. Maybe it was a drug crime, or maybe it was this, try to dehumanize us, or somehow to make excuses, say, hey, we don't need to go look for this person. In my son's case, the attack was a mental state, just different things like that. Character assassination. You don't see any missing white children, and the first thing they try to do is find a way to assassinate their character. But in this case, we had to go through a lot of things like that, and it is sad to me.
Absolutely. It's sad, it's unfortunate, and it's racist. It's racist, right? So we are going to organize and make sure that we support Mr. Robinson with finding Daniel. You can go over to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. That's pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. There's a GoFundMe that is up, and there are phone numbers to call, and there's a petition to sign. And
Yeah.
so, what I am imploring, I'm asking the family here at Fly Nubian Queen, the subscribers, to please take some time out of your busy schedules to send it, to definitely sign that petition,
Thank
visit
you.
the website, definitely, and support that GoFundMe. I will be making a donation today, Mr. Robinson,
Thank you.
and also let's do a telethon, y'all. I'm talking to the subscribers here while Mr. Robinson is out on the ground organizing search and rescue and looking for Daniel, we are going to spend Monday in the Lioness Den making phone calls to officials. That's what we're going to do. And we would like for you all to join us and to really show proof of that and hashtag it on your social media. Let's get this trending. Let's send some definitely get the word out. Please share the link to the GoFundMe as well as the website, y'all. And after you make donations, please hashtag it. I saw a couple hashtags that folks have put in. Is there a particular hashtag that we're using on social media for Daniel so far, Mr. Robinson?
Yeah, please help find Daniel.
Okay, so hashtag please help find Daniel. So if you make a phone call, if you send an email, and after you submit your petition, make a donation, please screenshot it, upload it to your social media, and hashtag it. Let's get that trending and spread the word. On Monday, when we come into the Lioness Den, we are going to have a telethon. Okay, we will have a list of phone numbers, elected officials, and things to call as reference. And resources via the website. And I do this so often, I will even make a script for us to use as we're calling these places and a template for sending emails to all of these different elected officials. And so I will be presenting that to the family on Monday, and we can share that information in those documents. But if you tune in and tap in to the Lioness, then you come here every day. Many of you all come every single day to build with us. And we're talking about producing justice in the world, on the planet, as defined by Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. And that is, justice is defined as guaranteeing that no person is mistreated and guaranteeing that the person who needs help the most always gets the most constructive help. Right now, Mr. David Robinson's search and rescue team for Daniel needs the most constructive help. And so we are going to advocate for this family and this cause, as well as every other missing Black person out there who it gets swept under the rug. This is egregious neglect and suspected white supremacy and anti-Black racism and negligence, right, on the part of law enforcement, clearly, the FBI, clearly, the mayor, clearly, the governor, clearly, city council members, etc. It is unacceptable. But guess what? As long as we are doing nothing to produce justice, to speak up, to spread awareness, and to hold these people accountable, they will continue to do this. Every time one of us goes missing, and that we will not allow that to keep happening. So in the Lioness Den, you already know what the topic is going to be on Monday and what we're going to do. We are going to go through, talking points and a script for calling all these damn places, excuse my language, all these different places, as well as sending emails. And we want receipts. We want folks to screenshot evidence of advocacy. There's always something that each one of us can do to contribute to a cause like this. And we're going to get this hashtag trending. Hashtag please help find Daniel. Hashtag please help find Daniel. And the website is pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Please help finddaniel.com. And the mayor's office will be hearing from us. We'll be hearing. Thank you, Dual. Eric
Yes,
Osborne the mayor's office, okay?
Right.
623-349-6950. Oh, and another number, 623-687-6304. Now, there is a way to get our message across and to advocate for Daniel, for us to, get more resources and to get Mr. Robinson some support for the search and rescue team. Just as we ask in the comments, when you tune into this particular space virtually, we ask that we keep our comments courteous and respectful and clean. As we are out doing our advocacy and our search, the search for Daniel, we're going to ask the same thing, right? We're going to ask that we are tactful. We're going to ask that we are constructive. We're going to ask that we are clear, right? That we are precise, and that we are actually advocating for folks to get some fire underneath their behinds to support Mr. Robinson and the search and rescue team to help find Daniel. And we can do that tastefully. So if you're going to join this cause, you're going to the telethon or do any sort of advocacy, we ask that it be done with tact and respect, right? And in a very constructive manner. And so I'm looking forward to putting together those documents, Mr. Robinson, talking points, a script, and things like that. And this is just a good exercise as well when we're doing any sort of advocacy, for the family who's tuned in to Fly Nubian Queen. You all have seen me on my social media calling the prison, advocating for our political prisoner and elder, Ms. Mumia Abu Jamal, right, when he had particular illness, when he had an outbreak on his skin from his hepatitis C, when he had emergency open heart surgery and we couldn't find him, that he needs to be released. There is a protocol and an organized manner in which we can get things done. And I'm looking forward for us to do this together. Do you have any thoughts anything that's on your heart or your mind right now, Mr. Robinson, that you'd like to share?
Yes. On my journey, of course, start off with my son. And, I'm focused. Like I said before, just having the outpouring of people calling in, families, just like myself, their loved ones, they have, you never hear of them. So the story is true when you hear out there, we always go unheard. Yeah, it is true. So I think for myself, I want to make sure that we bring awareness to those families, say their name, say that they are missing person's name. That'll bring a lot of comfort to a lot of them. And a lot of people like to hear, that support. They've been suffering for years. I've been only suffering for 3 months. For me right now, I'm trying to find a way to make sure they get some kind of their stories heard, So I want to try to build some type of platform for them, so their voice can be heard also.
Thank you, sir. And that really is a nice segue into the final question that we have for you today. From a personal standpoint, you just mentioned that you've been looking for your son for 3 months, and there are other folks out there who've been looking for their missing children for years. What do you do? What have you been doing spiritually, health-wise, and otherwise to sustain you and to take care of yourself during these times?
Well, I try to pray. I just pray and I talk to the Lord and ask for guidance. I also talk to my family members back at home. They're very much supportive. A lot of people don't hear about them, of course, because I'm here on the front lines. My children, help me stay strong. Also, just the outpouring of people who will call and, just have conversations. The last thing I do at night is I try to go through every email I can. I might not get everybody, but I try to get everybody I can until I just, get sleepy and go to bed whenever I can. So those things, just talking to people and hearing their stories and it's helpful. It's very helpful. This even encouragement. I get some things like, hey, look, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your family. I heard the story. That's helpful. It's very helpful because, it's a lot of stress. There's a lot of stress dealing with these people out here. You watch it in your face. You hear it in the news. The talking points. Just taking credit for things that you do. That type things for your supporters and your volunteers. They don't need to take credit for what volunteers have done. So you deal with a lot of pressure, but like I say, I always keep my faith. And one thing that encouraged me the most is I know that my son knows that he have a father that would go through tooth and nails, do whatever it takes to try to find him. So, he's out there somewhere, whatever the case may be. And if he ever heard it, he know me. He know how his father is, and I won't stop. So I'm always encouraged by that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robinson. We really do appreciate you taking time out today to come into Fly Nubian Queen, into the Lioness Den, to talk about the search for Daniel Robinson, 24-year-old geologist from South Carolina who went missing in Arizona. We will be supporting you. We will be having continuing to spread the word and investing resources into the mission, as well as holding these elected officials accountable. And we are praying for Daniel's safe return, and we are praying for you that clearly no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And so, and praying, and putting our intentions out there that, these death threats and, attempted intimidation tactics will not work.
It's not going to stop me.
We'll never stop. We'll never stop a strong, codified Black man who is an excellent father and would do anything for his family. So we definitely, and we're seeing a lot of support for you in the chat. Mr. Robinson, Black Voltron Reloaded says, we fathers will never stop searching for our missing children. Right. Salute to you, sir. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. And we want you to definitely stay strong. I'm really looking forward to building with the subscribers here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com and the Lioness Den regarding the telethon that we're going to have next week. Oh yeah, the email campaign, the petition signage. There are going to be some action steps, and we are going to organize wherever we are to support the safe return of Daniel. Right, Candace DeLeo says definitely praying for you and your family. So we want to
thank you so much.
Absolutely. You get a lot of strong Black fists.
That's right.
and Black praying hands
That's right.
and all of that. And so we really, really do thank you. And we also ask that I want to remind folks to go over. Oh yeah, and they're saying stay encouraged. We want to remind you all to go over to the website. Please help find Daniel.com. That's please help find Daniel.com. And we need you to hit that GoFundMe. Search and rescue missions are expensive. As we can see, Mr. Robinson has not gotten any support from elected officials, from the police department, or even the FBI in this sense, not even the mayor. And so it's up to us to support this particular mission and cause. And so again, we say thank you so much, Mr. Robinson. And if folks want to reach out to you, what information you can let us know aside from this website, how can we keep in touch and continue to get updates?
Well, you can keep in touch. I have the number. I can be reached on the website as well. And one thing I want to point out lastly is if anybody happen to be in the Phoenix area, they want to help out in the searches. We do have organized searches. We're doing one this Saturday again. They can also go to searchfordaniel.org. That will take you directly to to the search site. You can also find that on the other page also, but directly it's searchfordaniel.org. You sign in there. All the information there that you need to know about searches will be on that page.
Thank you. Sorry for the pause. I was putting that in the chat. It is searchfordaniel.org.
That's correct.
Searchfordaniel.org. We want to
Thank
thank you so much, Mr. Robinson, for coming in. You're welcome anytime if you want to give us any updates on search and rescue. And we want to say thank you for joining us today, of course. And then also thank you for being a strong advocate for other folks who unfortunately, you know, find
you.
themselves, we find themselves looking for missing loved ones.
That's
And
right.
stay strong. And we will definitely be in touch. You definitely be hearing from me one on one. And
Very good. Thank you.
yeah, the next step is to, I can do what I can do, and definitely support the GoFundMe, and then definitely organize our folks who tune into Fly Nubian Queens Lioness Den. This is a constructive space where we are in action around producing justice. So it's not just, talking about things that are happening in the world. What good is it to gain information and have these conversations if we're not actually in committed action around producing justice? So again, thank you, and we will be in touch with you soon, Mr. Robinson.
Well, thank you to all the people out here listening also, and I give my love to you too. Thank you so much for your support.
You're welcome, and we'll be in touch with you soon.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. So give Mr. Robinson a strong Black hand. We thank him for tuning in. I wanted to thank you all for your support and for sharing this broadcast. We saw the comments, the nature of the comments. Couldn't get to all of them during this broadcast. Definitely need to continue to plug. Please help find Daniel.com. Y'all come into the Lioness Den on Monday. I'm serious, ready to work because we got things to do. And if you all can make a donation to that GoFundMe, we really would appreciate it. They're organizing and continuing to do have an event, rally tomorrow. Folks are, we see you. And remember this website too, searchfordaniel.org. That's searchfordaniel.org. Oh, you're so welcome. You are so welcome. Let's keep Mr. Robinson in our prayers as well. And also, y'all, I did not want to pause this very, very, very important broadcast and that information with Mr. Robinson to, promote the events that are coming up and the different initiatives that we have at Fly Nubian Queens. So I wanted to wait until afterwards, just respectfully, given the nature of today's content. But we do want to remind you to please go and get your tickets and join us at the allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. We will be in Orlando, and we will be speaking truth to power and talking about B1, all things B1. Okay, all things B1. So please get your tickets, allblacknationalconvention.com. And even if you want to join us virtually, you can access that there. I will be in the building, okay, in Orlando. So please join us. Also, please sign up. Sign up for Unapologetic Black Powers course. We are taking, folks, y'all can come in and learn with us. The subscription comes with a 7-day free trial. And you can access that at flynubianpower.com. That's flynubianpower.com. Also, definitely check out our programming at flynubianmoney.com and flynubianbusiness.com and support our shop at shopfnq.com. We really do appreciate you all for sticking with us today. We want you to be codified and safe and healthy. All right. And also joyful and in alignment as you step into the weekend. I know we're nearing the end of the week. But just do what you got to do to take care of yourself because, we got a lot of things going on in society. So Monday will be the day. When we definitely do our telethon in support of, Daniel. Please help find Daniel.com. All right, I want to thank the moderators. I want to thank everyone who tuned in today. Y'all. This broadcast is ending, but so is global racism and white supremacy. We will trample this beast through fortitude, preparedness, and collectivism. And always remember that they stole us, they sold us, so they owe us. Until next time, family, peace and Black power, and hashtag please help find Daniel.